and have a glass of wine.
Up to bed.
Until the time came to call it a day.
Making an announcement, everyone. At midnight, I'm going to bed.
With the whole crew sleeping at the airfield, at least they didn't have far to travel. The propellers turning for the first time and the takeoff was a big moment. But as important to James was demonstrating that building and owning your own aircraft is not the impossible dream most think it to be.
The man in the street can buy an aircraft and he can fly it around the world now. These airplanes are good enough to do that kind of stuff.
And as if to prove what that kind of thinking can lead to,
we flew, in fact, our prototype aircraft from Conakry in West Africa to Belém in Brazil, across the Atlantic Ocean. And then as we did more and more of these legs, we became more and more confident.
The year was 2009, and it was part of their round-the-world flight in the Sling.
Wow.
It was an expedition that would set Mike and James apart from the average flight enthusiast and airplane manufacturer.
Nice flight. We're exactly on 12 hours.
For while they have created a business together, this was as much about their addiction to adventure. They even made friends in the sky.
You guys look really good up there. Yeah, man, your plane is so cute, eh? Just fantastic. Come a bit closer.
By the time they'd finished, they'd covered 48,000 kilometers, and 22,000 people were following their travels through their website.
Whenever we landed, we'd do a story and we'd post photographs. And the trip, which was intended to be an adventure, really, turned into quite a massive marketing exercise for us, because they had people not only from South Africa, but from all over the world following us by the time we got back here. And it resulted in a number of inquiries from all around the world.
So we've just arrived at Tedfield Air Park and business is already being done. Signing on the dotted line, this customer was apparently buying the 25th Sling to be sold in the past year at quite a bit less than your average luxury car. So you didn't want to buy a car for that money?
Not at all.
No? This is far more appealing to you.
For sure.
So there are a bunch of South Africans who want to fly, and a lot of them are people who want to fly in a South African aeroplane. Not only built in South Africa, but designed, developed, and built.
But for Mike and James, it goes a lot deeper than sales. What's it like flying an aircraft that you were involved in developing?
I do love the fact that I've sanded, riveted, drilled all of these airplanes that I fly. They're created by my own hands. And I feel safe in them because I understand them.
As important as the mechanics are in making such a journey a success, is the relationship between the two men.
To fly around the world with Mike is absolutely wonderful because we both have a sense of adventure. We make excellent company for one another, I think. We virtually never disagree on anything. And we are the two people, I suppose, who are the bones of the aircraft.
So what do you talk about when you spend 24 hours in a tiny space like this with somebody else?
Well, initially we talked a lot about the drills. You know, what would happen if the engine fails?
Which is something that Mike's wife, Charmaine, doesn't even bother thinking about.
I'm not a huge worrier by nature, and also because Mike he's incredibly competent. He has so much experience, and of course, you know, one knows the reality, anything can happen, but it's not something that I think about often.
Well, she used to get really mad at me whenever I disappeared on one of my adventures, you know. But recently she's come to accept that this is who I am.
Charmaine has finally participated in what Mike does. In fact, soon after filming this, she and Mike flew to Namibia in the Sling, looking for friends on holiday.
The friends don't know that we're coming, and we are going to fly up to Swakopmund and then go in search of them from the air until we find them and then join them.
So Mike and James have stumbled upon success with their aircraft. Any thoughts of taking a rest are instantly dismissed.
For this business to really succeed, we have to make more aircraft, more models.
Ultimately, we'd like to be competing with Boeing and Airbus, you know, if we could.
It would sound horribly cheesy to say the sky is the limit, but with their drive and enthusiasm, maybe it is. Apart from being a little bit windswept, it was a lot of fun, and we even did not one, not two, but 3 barrel rolls.
She lost count, she did so much fun. I think we did 5.